The world often misunderstands what it truly means to refuse giving up. They think it's about being tough on the outside, but real strength begins in the mind long before it shows in the body. Every journey starts with doubt from others, but the fire inside a true warrior burns louder than any noise around him. When people say it's impossible, that voice becomes the first spark toward proving them wrong. There is a certain electricity in believing in yourself when nobody else does. That belief becomes armor, it becomes fuel, and it becomes destiny shaping itself. You learn that dreams are not given, they are taken with discipline. And when you embrace this truth, quitting stops being an option forever. There comes a moment in every fighter's life where the world thinks he should slow down or step aside. But a true champion hears that and smirks because he knows something the others don't. He knows that setbacks are part of the climb, not the end of it. He knows failure only hurts the ones who don't rise again. Every bruise becomes a reminder, every scar becomes a map of where greatness lies. When most people cry over pain, he studies it and becomes stronger from it. The ones who rise again after falling are the ones who rewrite the definition of resilience. The hunger to win is not a habit, it is a heartbeat. It keeps you awake when others sleep and keeps you moving when others stop. It is a force that doesn't care about comfort, doesn't care about excuses, and doesn't care about what happened yesterday. Winning demands obsession, and obsession demands courage. Courage to train harder than anyone expects, to sacrifice more than anyone sees, and to believe more than anyone understands. When that hunger becomes part of your identity, no challenge can intimidate you. You walk into every arena, every battle, every moment knowing you were built for this. There are times when the body screams to stop, to rest, to surrender. But the spirit of a true fighter ignores the noise and pushes further. The spirit says one more round, one more strike, one more chance to rise. That voice inside becomes louder than any opponent standing across from you. And as long as that voice lives, giving up becomes impossible. The warrior spirit is not something you learn, it is something you unleash. And once it is unleashed, nothing in the world can cage it again. Champions are not shaped in comfort, they are sculpted in adversity. Every early morning, every late night, every drop of sweat is a brick in the foundation of greatness. When the world doubts you, you double your work. When the world laughs at you, you sharpen your focus. When the world turns its back, you turn your pain into power. Pressure becomes motivation, and fear becomes fuel. You understand that the path to greatness is lonely, but it is that loneliness that builds legends. There is a moment in training when everything hurts and quitting feels like relief. But a true warrior refuses relief, because he knows relief is temporary and regret is permanent. Pain becomes a teacher, not an enemy. Every repetition becomes a promise to yourself. Every sacrifice becomes a step toward the life you're chasing. And in that battlefield of sweat and struggle, you discover a version of yourself you never knew existed. A version that refuses to break, refuses to bend, and refuses to give up. Life throws storms at those who dream the biggest. But storms don't scare the ones who know how to stand tall in the rain. Instead of hiding, a true fighter walks into the storm with a grin. He knows that every challenge is a test, and every test is a chance to rise. The stronger the storm, the stronger he becomes. And with every storm survived, confidence grows like fire. A fire that turns fear into dominance. And weakness into mastery. Every dream requires sacrifice, and sacrifice demands discipline. Discipline to wake up early, to train harder, to stay focused when distractions scream louder than goals. Discipline to say no to comfort when comfort tries to slow you down. It trains your mind to stay sharp and your heart to stay hungry. Days turn into habits, habits turn into identity, and identity turns into legacy. And once your legacy begins building itself, giving up becomes an insult to everything you've earned. There is beauty in struggle when you learn to appreciate the climb. Most people quit because the journey feels long, but champions keep going because they know the view from the top will be worth it. Every step forward, even the smallest one, holds value. You learn to trust the process, trust the grind, and trust your future. The path may break your bones, shake your confidence, and test your soul. But those who endure it become unbreakable. A true champion understands that criticism is only energy waiting to be converted into success. The louder the critics, the stronger the motivation grows. Every doubt thrown at you becomes ammunition. Every negative voice becomes a reminder of what you're fighting for. Instead of letting criticism crush you, you let it ignite you. And that fire becomes unstoppable because it is fueled by passion, not validation. The journey to greatness is not about proving others wrong, it is about proving yourself right. Proving that the battles you fought meant something. Proving that the sacrifices you made were worth it. Proving that the belief you carried was not misplaced. Along the way, you discover the power of persistence. You learn that quitting is not in your DNA. And once you understand that, nothing in the world can take your dream away. And finally, a warrior never gives up because he knows this life is not lived once, it is lived every time he stands back up. Every time he defies doubt, every time he breaks limits, every time he chooses courage over fear. The world may try to stop him, but he is built differently. He is built to rise, built to fight, built to conquer. And as long as breath fills his lungs and fire fuels his heart, giving up will never be part of his story.